What's up, guys, and welcome back to Earth Zero. I'm your host, Black Nick, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. We are here to have fun, talk about movie news, enjoy comics, and we're just nerds, guys. We are just nerds and weebs, and I love it. But it's just sad to tell you that Blue Beetle has flopped in the box office, which was coming, with everything happening around. The fact that the Flash couldn't make it was definitely going to show you that. I mean, shows you that Blue Beetle wouldn't make it, and Blue Beetle wouldn't make it because of superhero fatigue. The Snyder fans being butthurt about Snyder leaving. Just the split fan base, going on. People not liking Ezra, and just no actual straightforward stuff happening from DC. Everything's taking so slow, and when it comes out, it's just so, like, why did it take you this long to do it, or to work on this and stuff? And so many people have come through to try and save it. The Rock has come through. James Gunn is now coming through, dude, but he's still now falling straight underneath this baggage and problem. And in my opinion, I just think like it's just doomed either way. It's doomed when we go to James. Like with James Gunn, specifically think it's the better route because we can just still build it up to something like, great, He can slowly just start picking up his fans slowly. No matter, like, the Snyder fans can't be angry forever at DC and just never watch a DC movie ever again. Like, as much as they say that, I just think they're capping. Like, eventually, when they hear people talking about, oh, this universe is doing this universe is actually growing, this universe is this, that, they'll eventually start hopping onto it. And then if we go back to this, like, Snyder universe, with just how rushed that universe was, it's just so hard to, the only thing that people are now fighting for when they, like, restore the Snyder universe is Man of Steel 2 and another Justice League movie. That's the only thing they're rooting for, because everything else was just everything was just meh, you know? And I'm just like, why do you guys want that universe so badly? Like, do you just want it to, like, conclude or something? Because I just don't see any, like, bigger future from what it is. And the funny thing is that everyone wants the Snyder Cut or the Justice League 2, but they don't understand that is we need in between movies before the like Justice League 2. We can't just go from number 1 to, like, number 2 straight away. That's how they think that it's going to work or whatever when they're, like, all fighting for these movies. But that means we're going to have in between movies, which will probably also do badly and also be generic, because this world wasn't built properly from the beginning. They should have just built the movies properly. Snyder should have just built the world, like, slowly, solo movies. Even if they said that he was following the Marvel formula, even if they were accusing him of that, it would have still been much better now, because we would have had at least a connection to all these characters. But instead, we're getting 2 hour movies, 2.5 hour Man of Steel movies, 3 hour Batman. Like, shame. These poor kids, how much information do they need to take and sit there for a 3 hour movie to watch Batman versus Superman, and then a 4 hour movie to watch the Snyder Cut? That shows you how much information is lacking, that we need all of it just squashed into these movies. And the reason why those movies are good is because the movie, like, Snyder Cut is good, is because they had to cover up all of that. They actually put out the information out there. But in Batman versus Superman, it was just all over the place. Information was also cut because it's just all squashed in that world. Everything's just been squashed. And literally everyone's like, oh yeah, no, like, no, it's better to go to that universe. People are supporting that universe more. And I'm like, we here at this point in this mess because Batman versus Superman was the foundation of everything. That's where this fan base split. That's where movies are going up and down for DC, and to the point where they were like, they couldn't take it themselves. And then they started the James Gunn universe, but no one wants to give him a chance, because apparently this universe started to become good because of the Snyder Cut, which we'll never know. But the fact that the Flash, Black Adam, all these movies that could have helped restore it also did dismally. So it's just like, what are the Snyder fans actually supporting? Like, do they only want Snyder to direct every single movie in DC? Like, he just needs to be a part of the projects. Because it's just crazy how they just follow him so much, dude. I just don't get it. Even Marvel has a whole bunch of different directors. It's not like, oh, we only need the Russo brothers to do it only. They need to direct all their films. No, it's not like that. So many other directors also direct these films as well, and people just don't understand it. So anyway, my main point here is about this whole Blue Beetle. Comes with all of this baggage and history, and it's going to start off bumpy, but it does not mean, in my opinion, that this movie is a bad movie. That's what people are using these days as an excuse, and I can't argue with those people at all. People that talk about, oh, a movie is only better if it did well in the box office, or it's good because it did well in the box office. And I was like, no, there's so many movies out there, such as Scott Pilgrim versus the World, Warrior. What's that other one? Scott Pilgrim versus Warrior. What's that? Fight Club with Brad Pitt. All of those movies did bad in their time with the box office, and I have not heard a single bad thing be said about it. When I talk to people about the movie, they all like, "Oh, I love that movie." What? So the box office doesn't determine if a movie is good or bad, because when I use the same argument towards people, like, yo, then that means Avatar destroys like almost all the Marvel movies, dude. I mean, like Avatar 1 and 2, it destroyed so many Marvel movies and it made so much money. And you'll get Marvel fans hopping on and going like, no, people just overrate those movies. And then they go into all this whole defense mode, and it's just like, you see? So if there's such thing as overrated, isn't there such thing as underrated? Like a movie just being underrated because of where it's at in time and stuff. So I don't think Blue Beetle's a bad movie. I just think it's all the business around it. And if you want to see it as a fan, I'm hearing good things about it from, like, fans. Other people that just are trying to restore their universe and have other missions will obviously just tear it down. People will not don't want to go to the cinema anymore. It's post pandemic. People are like fine with just staying at home. Like, superhero movies are not bringing people to the cinema anymore. And that's fine. That's fine with me, with the whole fatigue thing and everything. It's just this whole what determines if a movie is good or not, and people using the box office numbers to do that are just fooling themselves, dude. Like I said, if you use that argument, then that means Avatar 2 is better than a lot of Marvel. I mean, yeah, a lot of Marvel movies, because it made billions. It made 3 billions, and people argue differently, dude. So just never use that argument in anything. I think just break down why the movie's bad or why the movie's good to you, and at the end of the day, it's just an opinion. It's not the numbers and the cash and what. Especially with Blue Beetle and where and the year and the time it has come out. I feel like back then it would have done super well. Like, people would be like, "Oh, Blue Beetle's cool," and we would have been seeing him continue. But now that we're starting from scratch, everyone's just like, "I'm tired of this." But anyway, tell me what you guys think about all of this nonsense. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Comment in the comment section below.